Hey guys, welcome back to Darth Jeremy. Today's video is going to be something very, very special. As you guys can see, I have dyed my hair blonde on the top here. I I love it. I got it done a week ago, so it looks really nice. And I got me these new diamond earring, golden diamond earrings because I wanted to. So. But I'm going to be comparing and contrasting the original Immortal Instruments and Infernal Devices book covers to the brand new paperback covers that released in 2015. 2 years ago. Wait, 3 years ago. Whoops. These editions have been out for a very long time, but I couldn't justify buying them when I couldn't really afford to be spending it, but come on, I'm not. It's the time of year, tax season came around, I got my return back, and I gifted myself these editions because I've been wanting to reread both of these series for. I read the Infernal Devices, all three books, basically back to back. Well, I read the first book, and then I waited a few months, and then I binged the last two. It's been a while, so I think it kind of gives me a perfect excuse to read both of these series. So I'm going to be showing you the original one, and then I'm going to be showing you the new one and what I think of both covers and which cover do I actually prefer. So, the original cover. This is the original cover for Clockwork Angel. And this is the new paperback cover for Clockwork Angel. Now, I love both of these covers. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. They're beautiful. What I will say is, and I feel like this goes with all of these new covers, where these ones were just a little more simple, and these are kind of flashy looking. They're a little bit over the top in some ways, but they're still beautiful and gorgeous covers. What I loved about this cover was it really captured the London, the Victorian era very, very well. This cover does not really do that, except for we see Will in his attire, you know, his clothing. That doesn't really tell us a whole lot. I do really like that the cover on this, the title is really raised. I love how we have the clockwork. We have an angel in the background, and then we see Will holding this sword. So, in a lot of ways, as much as I love both of these covers, and what's really cool about them is each spine kind of paints a picture. So this is Will on the spine, and when you line up the whole series, it forms this huge backdrop of London with all of these clockwork monsters ascending on them, which is pretty cool. Now, another thing that's really cool about the paperbacks is it comes with a map of London inside. And it's the same map in all three books, but it's just really cool if you're like looking for something and then you just have London. It's just really, really, really awesome. So in this aspect, I'm going to go ahead, as much as I love this cover and I think it's very pretty, I'm going to go with the original one because I like it better. It's more iconic for this book. You know, it felt more, it captured the steampunk aspect, the Victorian London aspect. And I don't know, I think it was just a better cover all the way around. So next we're going to show Clockwork Prince, and I have yet to include this in a book haul because I do have a book haul planned at some point. This is actually my brand new edition of Clockwork Prince, one that's not ruined. The spine isn't ruined, so this is my brand new one. We're going to put this one over here, actually. But anyway, so this was the original, this is the cover for Clockwork Prince, which is not a bad cover, but it kind of irked me. It kind of bothered me a little bit. Like, I don't know if it was the pose or his, I don't know. It just didn't quite look right. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, apparently. And this is the cover of Clockwork Prince, the new one. This cover wins everything. This is my favorite cover of this trilogy of these editions, if that makes any sense. And because this is classic Jem, this is Jem on the cover, just like he was on. A lot of people have complained about this, is the saying that this does not look like Jem at all because his hair is silver, and his hair is silver on this cover. And this one, if you really look close enough, you can actually see his runes. It might be a little hard to tell on camera, but he's playing his violin, which is such a huge part of these books. And Jem is actually like a Chinese I'm a horrible person. He has that kind of an ethnicity, and they don't really portray that very well on this cover. But it is what it is. I don't know why they couldn't, but for this one, this new cover wins hands down. It was actually this cover alone that made me want this entire series with these new covers, because I thought they were very pretty. And as always, Jem is on the spine. So this is a gorgeous cover. This is a great cover as well, but I prefer this one over it. Now, I want to say, if you're worried, oh no, I don't like these new covers, now I'm going to be stuck with them. Don't worry, because they only did this with paperback. If you still want all of Cassandra Clare's, Infernal Devices and Mortal Instruments, you can still get them in hardcover with these same original covers that we've always had for her books. I have another video planned for Cassandra Clare. It's probably going to be uploaded next, which is going to be the recommended reading order to read the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Tons of other people have done that video in the past, but I've always wanted to make it myself, and I've actually been meaning to for like years. Now we're going to go with Clockwork Princess. And this one's going to be kind of like almost a repeat, but so first here is the original cover for Clockwork Prince. And I love this edition so much. I read this beautiful, huge, gorgeous book. It's my favorite of the series, though. And then this is the new paperback for Clockwork Princess. Like I said, I really like this cover, and I really like how, the angel in the background. This one is very beautiful. I really like it. We see Tessa on the cover. I'm just going to set this one down for a second. We see Tessa basically in a beautiful dress with this shiny thing right there, and then we see the Clockwork Angel necklace on the floor. It is very beautiful, but I also think it's kind of boring a little bit, so I'm going to kind of go back to what I said previously, I'm going to say what I said when I said for Clockwork Prince, but I prefer this cover. This is still a really gorgeous cover, it just is a little bit boring to me. And then of course that is also the spine, and this is the chunkiest book of this series. This is the longest book of this series. So overall, not too bad. It's a great series. Now, it also came in a box set. It came in this really gorgeous, really sturdy as fuck box set. And honestly, I got this. If you're wondering where you can find this, I bought mine off of Walmart.com for $30. I'm going to put this in there so I can show you guys what they all look like together. And this doesn't want to go back in there. But I think Amazon has it too. This really does not want to work with me today. And I don't want to damage this new edition. I'd be so mad. But Amazon has them. BarnesandNoble.com has them. I'm sure they have them in the store as well. But this is what they all look like together when you line up the spines. I know my camera's not going to do them justice. They're going to look much better in person. But they look really great together. And this is just a beautiful set. So, 10 minutes on only the first series. And there's a lot more books to go through. So, I will try to make this as fast as possible. Let's move these. Okay, so now we're going to be going over the Mortal Instruments series. I also got a new copy of City of Bones. I did buy the 10th anniversary City of Bones, but I just don't like it. I just don't, I mean, I won't get rid of it or anything, you know, it's still really pretty, but I prefer the original. So here is the original cover of City of Bones, which is just the most iconic, one of the most iconic book covers ever, in my opinion. I'm actually going to be doing a video where I talk about iconic book covers in fiction, and or iconic book covers to me that are iconic. So Twilight's probably going to be a part of that as well, because how are those covers not iconic, or at least the first book? But this is the original cover, and this is Jace. We have Jace on the first, you know, with no shirt on, and then we have the city of New York. I am so on edge to reread this book. I've not read this book in probably like almost like 7 years or more, and I am just so ready. I'm so ready to reread this, as well as the entire Infernal Devices. But this, as I said, this is the original cover of City of Bones. And I will say, I like these covers for the Mortal Instruments, the new ones, much more than I did for the Infernal Devices. Except for Clockwork Prince. That is my favorite cover of those, so I love it. So this is City of Bones, the original, and this is the new cover. And just like that, with, you know, the spines all match up to form a huge picture. I like this one because I feel like these new covers are actually depicting a certain thing that, you know, I feel like they're actually detailing something that's actually in the books. I feel like the Infernal Devices didn't really do that. I feel like he cared, the Russell Gordon cared more for this series because this is the most popular of the two. The Infernal Devices is still a best-selling series, but this series is more popular. But I love, if you can see behind each book title, there is a rune there. And also, just like with the Infernal Devices, there is, in fact, a map of New York City. On this side, it lists all the places with numbers on it on this side, and then this side, it has the location with the numbers. That way, this is going to be really fun when I pick this up, and that way, if they mention something, I can go back into the front of the book and see where that's located. It's just going to be a lot of fun to do it that way. So, which cover do I prefer? I'm a bit torn. This is, like I said, this is much more classier than this one. This one, you know, these are a little bit flashier. So I'm kind of torn because I don't really know which one I love more. But I think a lot of people think this is really cheesy and really lame cover. But I'm going to go ahead and say I like this one because it's a little bit darker, it's a little more grittier, it really and what I love about this particular series is these covers really show the darkness and grittiness that these books actually have. Nobody seems to understand in this fandom that these books really are dark and gritty, but they always have a light humor side to them that makes them not as dark, but they, you know, this world can be quite dangerous and quite scary. So yeah, so that was City of Bones. Go ahead and set this one down here. Right, so now we're going to talk about City of Ashes. So this is the original cover for City of Ashes, and just like with Clockwork Prince, I don't know what it is about this cover, but I just wasn't the biggest fan of it. I mean, it's still a great cover. I like the color. For some reason, I get the cover and color mixed up and like whatever. We have Clare, and we have you know, another aspect of New York City on it, and overall it's a pretty cover, you know. It's nice and everything, but there's something about it that just didn't completely sell me. This is the new cover for City of Ashes, which I like that they kept the color scheme with this one. I like that a lot. Once again, behind the title is Yet Another Rune. I love this one because we have Clary. I feel like the only thing that's really weird is her hair feels very out of place. Like, it feels very, like, I get if the wind is blowing and everything, but it looks really weird. But this, I do prefer this cover compared to the hardcover cover or the original cover. I like how, you know, we have Clary with her Steely, and she plays a huge part in this because we actually find out in this book that Clary has a very rare ability to create runes, and no other Shadowhunter has ever been able to do that until Clary came along, I guess. But there is, you know, I forgot to say, there's also a brand new short story in each one of these books, as with the Infernal Devices, that we have never seen or read before. So, and as always, that's the spine, and that is Clary. So, I'm gonna put this down now. I'm gonna try to speed through a few of these because it's already like gonna be over 20-minute video. We have book 3, which is City of Glass. This is my favorite book of the Immortal Instruments series. I've read all 6 of these books, and this still is my favorite of this series. Now, I love and adore this cover. I have loved and adored this cover ever since I got it. I love this cover. This has Sebastian on this cover. Now, this is where things got a little bit different with the new covers, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But this is the original gorgeous, 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 beautifully huge book of City of Glass. And I love this book, and I will fight with anybody who says that. A lot of everyone says that City of Heavenly Fire is the best book in this series. It's a good book. I like the book, I like the characters, I liked the storyline, but I still think that City of Glass was a better ending to the series. Personal opinion here. And then we have the new paperback, of City of Glass, which I still like. Once again, at the these are getting a little harder to see even in person, so you really have to pay attention, but there is a rune behind the title. This one is really hard to see because of the color scheme, even like in person. This is actually Simon on the cover, and I've always wanted Simon to be by himself on one of these books, and now he kind of is. Simon plays a huge role in this book, but so does Sebastian. So, and I kind of did prefer Sebastian to be on the cover of this book, but I also really I like the color scheme. I just feel like this is a very awkward pose for him. But for the most part, this is a great cover. I love the color scheme. I love the redness to it. So for this book, I'm going to have to go with the original. I prefer this one much, much more. And there's nothing wrong with this cover. Like, I mean, I love the color scheme and everything that is the spine on this one. I just feel like it was the pose. Maybe if Simon was in a different pose, I would have liked it better, but I don't know. It's still a gorgeous cover. Like, I still really like it, so I'm not faulting it or anything. Now we're going to go to the later half of the Immortal Instruments series with the last 3 books. So the first one we have is City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. What I love about this was the first book that did not have that Stephanie Meyer quote on it, and I think it looks so much better when there's no quotes. But now if you buy the books now, they're all going to have that Entertainment Weekly says prepare to be hooked quote on it, like on City of Heavenly Fire. But I just think it looks so much cleaner and nicer without. This cover has Clary and Simon on it, and for the longest time, this was my favorite book series. It was my favorite book series. I don't have a current favorite book series anymore. I read way too many series, and I love way too many series to find a series that I love. I have yet to complete the Harry Potter series, so that could end up being my favorite series of all time when I finish it. I'm planning on starting from the very beginning and binging all 7. you know, not like obsessively, but, you know, taking my time. But that is the hardcover cover. Well, we're gonna... This is where things get I love this color scheme. I think it worked really well for this book. I just think it was beautiful. Now, this is the cover of City of Fallen Angels. I will forever associate City of Fallen Angels with this color and this cover and everything. This I really like because this is Isabel, and we've never had Isabel on any covers for these books, so it's really nice that she gets to be on a cover looking badass with her whip. But once again, I think and I also like that these covers are also showing more of an action sequence for them because they are very action-oriented warriors. And I really liked that. It was, so I like it, but I'm kind of meh. It's kind of a little bit bland, just like City of Glass, but I also really like that we get to have Isabel looking badass, because I love my badass female characters. So, favorite cover for this one is definitely going to be the original. I think I'm saying that with a lot of these, but I really do prefer the original covers. There's a lot of people who don't, actually. Alright, next one we're going to go with City of Lost Souls. And this is the original cover for City of Lost Souls. Once again, no quote, just like with the fourth book. And this is going to be really difficult because this, I thought, was one of the most beautiful book covers in the series because, as you can see, it's quite dark, and it was the first book in the series that didn't really have a huge display of New York City. All we have is this, like, bridge at the bottom, so that was different for these covers. In fact, it was the first book in the series that did not have a display of the city. Let me go back to Fallen Angels. Yeah, I guess I was wrong, actually. Fallen Angels had a little bit one at the bottom. I guess they wanted to slowly change the covers up at the bottom, making them a little bit different. But anyway, this was also the second book in the Mortal Instruments series to be over 500 pages. But I love the dark. See, here's the bridge again. But I just loved the gorgeous dark gray, black, blue tone that this had. And this has Clary and Jace on it. It's the only book in the series that has nothing but Clary and Jace. And this book is also the darkest book in tone and writing of the series. So it was quite fun to read. And I remember when I filmed my review for this, I had said that this was my favorite book of the series for so many reasons. And it's not my favorite book of the series. City of Glass will always be my favorite book. But it's still a really beautiful cover, and I just love it. I think it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful, yeah. This is the new cover for City of Lost Souls, and we see Alec in this really action-oriented, like, pose with his crossbow. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I prefer this cover. As much as I love the hardcover City of Lost Souls cover, I think it's beautiful. I feel like this one is just way more epic, and, you know, it really sets in stone, like, the book. You know, this is such an intense novel, and the fact I've always wanted Alec to be on the cover. Always wanted Alec on the cover. And I think I forgot to show you the spine on the fourth book. So that's what that one looks like. Sorry. And then we have Alec on the spine. But so much love. This I can't talk, apparently. I want to say this is my favorite cover of these covers. There we go. My brain works, apparently. But once again, I really like this cover, and I really like how Alec is looking all badass. You guys have no idea how much big fan I am of this series. Like, it is like, if I had to pick a favorite series currently, I probably would go with this series because there is so much going on in these books, and they're so much fun. This is also an young adult urban fantasy series. Alright, let's put this one over there. Alright, the last one. And we're done. We're done. We're done with this one. Yeah, one more. Okay. This one's gonna be kind of hard because both of these covers are almost equally just like, it's gonna be really hard. But this is the cover for City of Heavenly Fire. The big brick that took me 2.5 years to read. So when I reread this one, I'm going to really pace myself, and I'm hoping I'll read it faster this time. Like, you know, maybe a couple of months. This is why I don't read books that are this long ever. I don't read books that are 600 to 700 pages, because, you know, if there's not something happening all the time, I lose interest very quickly. But this cover has Sebastian and Clary. When I first saw this cover, I was in love with it. I made a whole video about my love of this cover and, like, cover reveal for it, because I thought this was one of the most beautiful covers in the entire world. And as you can see at the bottom, instead of having, you do see, like, a ruined city here. And on the other side here, my camera's not going to do it justice, but it's really pretty. And then the fire's golfing, because it is called City of Heavenly Fire. And then on the back with the fire as well. So overall, this cover is a beautiful, it'll always be beautiful to me, always. And here is the paperback copy. Paperback edition of City of Heavenly Fire. Now this one is a little bit different because Clary is not on the cover of this one, but this just has Sebastian on it. We have him holding the mortal sword and the cup. Is it the mortal cup? I think it's the mortal. I think it's some kind of. It's one of. It's been so long, guys. I'm sorry. I'm terrible, but. Give me 1 second, please, because my throat's doing something tickly. H2O, bitches. It's a beautiful thing. But anyway, this is... I'm obsessed with this cover. Like, obsessed with it. But in every aspect, I feel like this cover just fits City of Heavenly Fire. This has always been the cover for City of Heavenly Fire to me. And it's just always going to be my favorite. So this is my favorite one. But this one is also really, really beautiful as well. I love this. And it's huge. It looks... I wonder what spine looks bigger. They're the same page length. So... which... let's put it there. I want to say City of Heavenly Fire looks bigger, but I think it's only like that because it's a hardback, and I've read out of it. I actually haven't read this out of this, but it's going to be really fun to be able to read out of this. What I also want to know is this stuff, like how this stuff looks, is all the same. They didn't change the insides. What I would have preferred, and I think would have made these books really special, is they would have changed the map with each book depending on where the book is set. I would have loved if they would have done that, like, because, you know, they're not always in London in the Infernal Devices. They're not always in those areas, and the Shadowhunters travel all over in these 6 books. So, but these are my thoughts and opinions on these new covers. I just love these new ones. I love this one. I almost want to say this is my favorite. This one and City of Lost Souls are like my top 2 favorites. And then that is the spine with Sebastian. And Sebastian was one of my favorite characters. As soon as he popped up in City of Glass, I was very interested in who he was. So now I'm going to put all these back in here so I can show you what they all look like together, just like I did with the other one. So if you're interested, this box set I once again bought from Walmart.com. I paid $45 for it, which, considering $45 for 6 books, gorgeous ass covers, I didn't really have anything negative to say. It was well worth my money. They all came in beautiful condition. It's going to be one of those series I'm going to love for years and years, so it's going to be really nice to have them in paperback as well as hardback. This is definitely one of my favorite series of all time. It may not be my favorite series, because I just feel like I just don't have one, but it is definitely it is definitely one of my favorite series of all time. It's kind of weird how these books fit better in their box set than the Infernal Devices. I have an issue with box sets. I feel like they don't leave you very much leeway room for, like, leg room in these. I feel like they're very tight. That was my biggest complaint about the Twilight White collection, is they were so tight. And actually, as beautiful as that box set is, I'm thinking about throwing the box set away. But this is what this set all looks like when you put them all together. And look how epic that picture is. Look at it. Them all lined up with demons are attacking New York City, and they're all standing there ready to face them off and kick some ass. So, yes. And since I've rambled on for 30 minutes in this video, so sorry. But when it comes to Cassandra Clare and all her books and new covers, I have lots of thoughts. So I will talk to you guys at another time. Let me know what you think of my hair, because I want to know. I will be back later today with another video about Cassandra Clare in terms of what reading order do I recommend that you read her Shadowhunter Chronicles. I'll see you guys then.